Mark, let's bring you back because America, of course, huge problems on its southern border. And again, dare people speak out?
Lots of things are happening today. This day is very pivotal, not just this issue. I'll mention briefly that on March 4, there was a stay issued on SB 4, Senate Bill 4 in Texas, that would allow Texas to act like a nation state and detain and deport those that illegally enter the Lone Star State. Well, that law had a stay issued against it March 4, and on March 12, Samuel Alito, Associate Justice of the Supreme Court of the United States, extended the stay until today, March 18, 4 p.m. U.S. Central Time in Texas. So as of today, get this afternoon at 4 o'clock local time, we'll find out if Texas, number one, has the courage to enforce SB 4 and to see if anyone else at the federal government level, let's say Biden somehow with an executive order, whatever it might be, to see if anyone else interferes. So it's a real testing ground to see if Abbott's got the political will to actually enforce that law. But in the meantime, we have a slide here that shows a very ironic and puzzling situation. I'll describe it. Governor Abbott sends 105,000 migrants to sanctuary cities. Now, many conservatives are cheering this. You go, Governor Abbott. You're going to show those liberals in those blue cities. You're going to show them what for. You're going to show them how hard it is to handle all these illegals. And here's some specifics in the next slide. Texas has transported over 105,000 migrants to these sanctuary cities, over 12,500 to Washington, D.C., almost 40,000 to New York City, a little over 32,000 to Chicago, 3,400 to Philadelphia, 16,700 to Denver, and about 1,500 to L.A. Until Biden does his job, this is Greg Abbott's own ex-post, until Biden does his job to secure the border, Texas will continue to hold the line. But here is the problem. 105,000 migrants going into the internal United States is actually the trafficking or the importing of the people that have illegally crossed the border. So Abbott, according to many critics I've talked about, may be putting on a good show, but he's still sending over 100,000 of those who ought to have been detained, possibly deported, and sending them into the internal United States, into the very sanctuary cities where the migrants want to go. So many border watchers, people that are right in the Rio Grande River's water that I know of that have really been up close and personal on this issue, they're very upset about this. They think it's a lot of play acting and double dealing by Governor Abbott. But get this next slide. The Biden administration sets a target to deport 125,000 migrants in 2025, only half the number that were deported in 2019 when Mr. Trump was in there. But get that, Biden wants to deport 125,000, yet Abbott is sending over 100,000 into the interior and acting like it's a good thing. So a lot of people are crying foul on this, guys. They believe that Abbott is being duplicitous. They don't trust him. And you have that Senate Bill 4 decision today. That stay is dropping, and we'll see. So today is the bellwether day on whether Texas is really going to enforce its border and mean what it says and says what it means. And just to wind up here, this is from the American Civil Liberties Union of Texas, a very, very left-wing outfit. And they're reminding us SB 4 is currently scheduled to take effect no earlier than today, March 18th at 4 p.m. Central Time. And they're saying the U.S. District Court for the Western District of Texas initially blocked this unconstitutional law from going into effect. However, the Fifth Circuit Court of Appeals reversed that decision. The ACLU wants the Supreme Court to uphold any measure that would prevent SB 4 from coming into effect. And basically, readers and viewers can get more details from the show notes. The ACLU is explaining a little bit more about this. They're saying the new law authorizes untrained police officers to engage in immigration enforcement. That's a bit out of focus. They're very well trained. They're saying it creates a new unconstitutional process in which the Texas police are permitted to detain people suspected of being non-U.S. citizens. And actually, the Texas Constitution provides the groundwork for this. And when the federal government fails, kind of like the doctrine of the lesser magistrates, Texas, it's their prerogative to step in and fill the void. So that's what's going on, a very pivotal time for immigration, and we'll see if Texas is up to the challenge.
Mark, thank you very much for that. As you took us through that report, your earlier segment on the Council for Foreign Relations came in my head, and the expression was buzzing confusion. And this is one of the things we see worldwide: chaos in immigration. Borders are open, people are coming in, some of them are considered dangerous, and then we're going through the rigmarole of trying to get people out of the country where they haven't been checked when they come in. This is happening in America, it's happening in the UK, and there's an undertone of this globalist policy. We'll get more onto that in a minute.